And so Ms. Halton, Ms. Cherie L. Halton, works as a utilization care manager at Riverside Behavioral Health, where she prepares patients for discharge planning, aftercare, and ensuring they have good support services in the community. She works with adolescents, teens, and adults. Ms. Halt has a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration from Ashford University, with a history of personal care coordination for insurance holders with disabilities who need linkage for home care, as well as residential adolescent utilization insurance review work. She has a Master of Social Work degree from Damon University with a concentration in women and young adult social work. Ms. Halton's previous job included mental health counseling and running a community group for depression and women's empowerment. She is a member of the Postpartum Support Virginia Coalition, where she actively participates in learning, sharing, and improving the access to treatment for mothers who suffer from mental health diagnosis while pregnant, nursing, or postpartum. And again, to give us that holistic overview this morning, Ms. Halton will talk to us about women's mental health awareness. Ms. Halton.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. This is about our women, how important we are. It's also an honor and privilege to be a part of the Riverside Behavioral Health Hospital. Fortunately and unfortunately, by the time the women come through the doors of Riverside Behavioral Health in the psychiatric residential program, they have reached the end of their rope. They have succumbed to depression. They have succumbed to anxiety. They have reached the end of any type of help or assistance with the things that happen in the heart and the mind. They either didn't know how to reach for help. They come to the end of what they feel is any relief from the pressures and stress of life. And they come through our doors to receive a level of hope, care, a reprieve, counseling, medication, and just a light in their dark place. So today is very important that I'm able to talk about women and our mental health. So I'm very excited to be here today. Celebrating our ShEmotions. Everyone say ShEmotions. Yes, I do a lot of class participation. What are our ShEmotions? So today, along with bringing awareness to mental health and how it affects us, I want to celebrate the wonderful beings that we are. We are women. We embody the earth. We have so many beautiful attributes to bring to the world, and our emotions are one of the main things that are before us. A lot of times we hear the cliche, oh, well, she's in her feelings, or you know how you women are. Yes, we are emotional creatures, but we are wonderful creatures. So along with awareness, I want to take this time to celebrate us in every nationality and walk of life that we have. So our emotions, they are what make up our mental health, our feelings, how we accept trauma, how we experience joy, how we reciprocate it, how we react from things of joy and things of sorrow. It's the mood. It's what makes us who we are. It makes things that make us smile, things that make us cry, things that make us concerned. Those are our ShEmotions. They are our mental health. Does mental health affect women differently than men? Yes or no? Absolutely, they do. The answer is yes. According to the World Health Organization, women are 2 times more likely than men to experience women's mental health problems, such as depression, eating disorders, and panic disorders. This is very true. Women, we are affected more than men when it comes to certain diagnoses. Especially with depression, a lot of us don't know that we are depressed. It's very hard to detect. We think depression is just sadness. Depression does not have to necessarily just be sadness. You can go through your life and have everything you need and you want in your life and still have a level of hopelessness or a place where you've come complacent with what you don't have in the inside. And you can be depressed. You can be happy and have a lack of sleep. You can be happy and have racing thoughts going through your head, or lose joy and pleasure in doing things and still seem to have a complete life. There are many different facets of depression. Eating disorders happens a lot with our young women, with social media and how it affects what women should look like and what makes a woman look successful. In the adolescent and childhood of our young ladies, that's where the development starts, and the idea of who we are, sometimes it gets formed and presented to us in negative ways. So a lot of our eating disorders comes from our ability to want to look the part and to look presentable and to look what society deems as how to look perfect and how to look acceptable. Women, we feel these things more strongly than men. Panic disorders is also very important to know. It does occur more so in women than men. When we lose the ability to learn how to release worry, stress, and anxiety, and if we don't know how to process things such as trauma, childhood trauma, sexual trauma, we hold things a lot. We hold a lot of things in our mind and our hearts. Those can cause panic attacks. The inability to be able to maintain and get through negative flashbacks, feelings, or things that occur in our lives. Women, we are affected more than men in those areas. Women's serotonin levels are lower than men's. Why? Because they absorb the chemical faster, leading to mood swings. So these are some of the medical reasons how women are affected more than men. We absorb this chemical faster. Mood swings are real. I know women can attest to it. We have had a time where we are happy, full of joy, laughter, and in a moment, because of something that is said, something we remember, or a brush of the wind, our mood can change in an instant. A lot of this is because of this, our serotonin levels. Okay, they're lower. And when they're lower, they can't absorb as much. So it does affect women. Females are also more susceptible to hormone changes than males. This is very true to know. Our hormone changes are, we go through them a lot differently than men. We feel them a lot differently than men. And the changes sometimes happen more quickly than they are in men. Hormone changes are a big part of women and who we are. Post-traumatic stress disorder is more common in women than men. Did we know that? PTSD. It is. It's more common in women. Post-traumatic stress disorder. A single event, whether it happened one time or whether it happened over a moment in our childhood, something that happened in our adulthood, we saw something that affected us. We were a victim of rape, domestic violence, verbal abuse. We saw something happen to a family member or friend. We witnessed a murder. We served for our country. We have a high intense job. We survived domestic violence. We survived divorce. PTSD is very strong in women. We are affected by it more so than men. I wanted to touch before we went to this slide on the level of suicide. I didn't include this in my slide, but although the level of suicide attempts and suicide is stronger in men, the thoughts of suicide are stronger in women. So although we may not succeed in suicide, we think about it more. We have more suicidal ideations. We have more moments of helplessness and hopelessness where we don't want to be on this earth thinking that that's the only way to relieve our pain. We have reached the end of our rope with what we think can help us. So suicide rates may be higher in men, but the suicidal thinking and things that lead us to think about suicide, those thoughts and that rate is higher in women. So there are a lot of variables and mental health diagnoses that affect women more than men. How gender roles may affect women's mental health. So in the slide, as you can see, there are gender roles that women have, and they do greatly affect women's mental health. So traditionally, back in the days, I don't want to say olden days, I don't want to offend anybody, we had gender roles. The women who were married were the homemakers. We stayed home, we cooked, cleaned, we tended to the home. If we had children, we tended to the children, we were caregivers. And a lot of times the men, the husbands, went out and they worked. They brought home the bacon. They brought home the bread and we kept the home. So in a lot of ways, gender roles has affected our mental health. It is a job to be at home and raise children. It is a stressful job. It can be a stressful job. It is a rewarding job, and it's a privilege and a blessing to be a mother and to be a wife. But it comes with a lot of hard work, a lot of switching of the hands, so to speak. We multitask. We're the cookers. We clean. We're taxi drivers. We're burden bearers. We wipe tears. We give counsel to our children. We clean things. We keep things together. We have a lot of hats that we wear. And just like in those times, we are evolving in our gender roles. So a lot of women are not really staying at home as much anymore. Sometimes we are the homemakers and we go out and work. Women now are taking more roles that men used to take, as far as with jobs, with prestigious careers, or by chance, you can be one of the first African-American women to hold a Supreme Court justice. So the roles are changing. This is the world we live in. With those role changes, it comes a lot of mental health stability and instability factors. So as the roles may have changed, our mental health is greatly affected by these gender roles. I also have to touch on the fact that some of the homes of women, as far as our relationships, have also changed. So we have same-sex marriages. We have families that include moms, dads, grandparents. We are now caregivers of our loved ones, of the elderly. We may have 2 female homes with children. So with those gender changes, women are still affected by gender roles, whether you're same sex or not. We still have to pay very close attention to how mental health affects us with the everyday roles we do in life. How is my overall health affected by my mental health? Is my overall health affected by my mental health? Is the things I do each day, what I eat, who I'm with, what I experience, is that affected by my mental health? I know I need to take care of my outer health. I know I need to take care of, exercising and making sure I'm getting all the screenings I need for things such as cancer and HPV. And I need to make sure if I'm pregnant, I have the right prenatal care. But what about my mental health? How is that affected? So mental health helps us maintain cognitive alternates, emotional sanity, and balance within ourselves, our lives, and our relationships. Yes, mental health helps in those actual areas. Emotional sanity always reaches to me because my everyday life and what I do and what I take on, it affects me emotionally. My emotions are affected by everything that I do, and my body and my physical body medically is also affected by my emotions. When you're in a bad mood on your menstrual, have hormone changes due to age changes, this all affects your mental health. Have you ever had a bad day where you don't even realize how you even got to the mood that you were in because it was so different from the mood you were in before? I'm happy, I'm getting my day started. Something is said or something is done, and my whole mood just changes. I'm not even hungry like I was before. I lost my appetite. Or I need to just go home, get a bucket of ice cream, sit in a corner with a blanket, and just watch a movie that's mushy. Our emotions are affected by everything that we do, and how our body reacts to it is important. So emotional sanity is very important to take close heed to. High blood pressure and elevated levels of stress hormones and adrenaline, which increase the heart rate. Yes, when I'm stressed out, my heart is pumping more. I feel more adrenaline. Sometimes if I get stressed, if I'm doing 15 different things, it affects my heart rate. It affects how the blood flows. And that does affect us medically. We can be in a very high stressful job, or things at home could be very stressful, especially if we're caregivers. And if we're in a relationship or married, and all those different switching of the hats that women do, that affects our levels, our stress hormones, how we can manage. And stress isn't always a bad thing. You could have exciting things happening in your life, and that's still considered stress. I call it happy stress. You're getting ready to plan for a trip. You're excited. You got your girlfriends coming in town. You got your in-laws coming. I don't know if that's good or bad stress, but Stress is not always bad, and I'm trying to help bring awareness to the fact that stress is not always a negative thing, but we still need to be mindful of how good and bad stress affects the body. Stress affects our ShEmotions. So as you can see, we can be moms, mothers. If you don't have children, you can be caregivers of children. Your kid can have a temper tantrum one moment, and the next moment you're having a beautiful song that you're singing to one another, and you're enjoying the moments that you have with your children. But in an instant, their emotions affect our emotions. So all of our mothers and caregivers, yes, stress affects our ShEmotions. We can be, like I said before, high impact job, high impact life. That affects how we feel. You can have a stressful day at work and not even want to enjoy dinner with your friends and family later because your emotions are so affected by what happened earlier in the day. You can't quickly just switch back to being calm and happy and ready to face your friends and enjoy the pleasures of life. So our stress levels affect the way we feel. They affect our mood, and sometimes we can't get our moods back intact quickly than we like to. We can put on a strong face, and wearing our masks now because of COVID, it hides a lot of our facial expression. But some people were wearing masks before we had to wear masks. So we cry all night long, we say a prayer, we try to put on a happy face and put on a facade, and when your coworker says, "Hey, how you doing?" or your neighbor, "How you doing?" "I'm fine." We're not fine. We're holding everything that we've dealt with. We're not releasing it either because we don't know how or we don't trust to tell anyone. So we're holding our emotions in. That is affecting our body. That's affecting our heart, and that is affecting our mind. So her face looks stressed, and sometimes our face, we put a smile on or a look of confidence. Never let him see you sweat. But sometimes we need to sweat, and we need to see our sweat. We need to learn how to wipe the sweat and how to deal with it instead of just covering it. How can I improve my mental health as a woman? How can I improve it? How can I make it better? This is a personal thing. Like today, increasing your awareness of women's health, gaining knowledge. Knowledge is power. Somebody say, knowledge is my power. Knowledge is my superpower. And you don't have to read a whole bunch of books and memorize big words. I learned something today. I learned that when I'm angry, it affects my whole body. That's knowledge. I learned about serotonin levels. I learned that, PTSD affects women more than men. That's something that you learn that you can think about that'll help you. So any small nuggets or big nuggets of knowledge is a good way to bring awareness. That's a good way to improve your mental health is through knowledge. Having balance equals mental stability. Time delegating. Wow. This is a very interesting topic. So we have to delegate our time better. And I'm speaking to myself. I'm preaching to my own choir. We do a lot, and we sometimes think we can do more than what we should. Just because I can do it, should I do it? Do I need to say no? N-O. It's a full book, okay? No is a very powerful word. There's some things I don't need to do. I need to delegate my time better. I don't care if you need to get a notebook and write out the things you have to do for the day and put a time limit on it. I've put a timer on my phone when I've had a phone call from my own mother. Is she here? And my friends. How long am I going to talk to her? How much time am I going to give her today? You got to delegate your time. Okay, after 15 minutes, okay, I gotta go on with my day. Your time is so precious, you cannot get that back. So women, we gotta delegate our time better. And it's not that you don't care about others, but you need to care about yourself. Redeeming my time, yes. Exercise and food intake changes. I did bold for that. I'm telling myself that too. So like I mentioned about getting a bowl of chocolate ice cream and sitting in the corner when you have a bad day, our mood, it affects how we eat, and it affects our choices. When we're in a good mood, how many eat bad when you're in a good mood? I actually eat worse when I'm happy. Like I'm about to get a thing of lasagna and some breadsticks when I'm happy. When we're in a celebratory time, graduation, marriage, you go to a birthday party, they don't serve healthy food. They serve food that makes you happy. Some people eat bad when they're feeling bad. It's comfort food. Somebody say comfort food. It brings me comfort. Every time I eat a chocolate chip cookie, my sorrows are melting away every time I swallow it. But it's a cliche, but it's true. Exercise and food intake changes improve our mental health. So maybe I need to monitor what I eat. Sometimes if I don't eat my 3 meals a day and my 3 snacks, I do become a diva like Aretha Franklin in the Snickers commercial. I have an attitude. Did you know that your mood is affected by whether you eat or not? Do we all eat 3 meals a day? Honestly. Because why? We ran out of time? Did we forget to make it? We just ran out of time. We're just gonna grab something on the way. Or I'm not hungry in the morning. I can't eat in the morning. It's a lot of reasons, but be surprised when you put something in your mouth, whether it's a peanut butter cracker, whether it's water, a piece of fruit, a granola bar, it helps your mood. I've been in situations where I was ready to snap, or somebody said something and it ticked me off, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I eat? Did I eat today? Let me get myself together. Because we don't want to offend anybody, us as emotional creatures, because they already expecting it anyway, right? No, you're not going to get me today. I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat something and prepare my body to work with my mind and my emotions to have a good and successful day. Self-care and self-love. This is a biggie for me. It's a lot. We've gotten a lot of information about self-care and self-love. That does affect our mental health. To share a personal story, when I got divorced, I had threw so much into my husband and into my children, I forgot who I was. So once I was divorced, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. Once I was divorced and I was able to be in a safe place, I had to figure out what I even liked anymore. What were my hobbies? What did I used to enjoy doing? And I had to tap back into that. So self-love and self-care, let me tell you, self-care is not just going to get your nails and your toes done. That's maintenance for me, okay? That's like going to get my car washed and my oil changed. It's maintenance. What is self-care? Taking a moment to try something new. Taking a moment to sit in silence. Going to a women's conference that I would never go to before. Joining a club, joining a virtual group, trying something new, trying a new color, taking a risk. Maybe getting a puppy or maybe volunteering to read at the nursing homes, doing something outside of my norm to care for myself and acknowledge the many different ways of who I am and how I can still be of use in this world to bring passion and energy to myself. So self-care is really self-empowerment. Getting your nails done is fun. Inviting someone to come with you, that actually can help you to be able to enjoy your life with someone and enjoy moments with someone. So self-love is that inner work, and that self-care is that outer work. So to conclude before we finish this, which I'm going to need participation again, I want us to get the idea of approaching mental health the same way we approach medical and physical health. So the same way you make your appointment to go to the doctor, to get your teeth cleaned, to get your eyes checked, you having a pain in your stomach, you need to get a pelvic exam, you need to get an OB exam, you're a first-time mom, you're pregnant, you need to get a prenatal exam. I want us to take inventory and be aware that our mental health is just as important as our medical, physical health. It is so important, especially in this day and age. The COVID virus has affected our mental health in more ways than we even think. We have experienced trauma. We have experienced war-like symptoms with the death that we have experienced. It has affected us, each and every one of us, men and women, in our everyday lives. We have tried to survive and move on. It will never be the same, but our mental health can change for the better. So I want us, when we think about mental health, I want us to think about going to the laundromat or to the tailor to get our suits and dresses tailored to fit us. They do our neck measurements, our breast measurements, arm length. They don't really do the head measurement, though, unless you're getting a hat. They do everything else but the head. I need to tailor and make adjustments to my mental health. I need to measure what has changed, what makes me excited, what makes me sad. What am I thinking about that's causing me joy, and what am I thinking about that's causing me pain? And for women, we have to be more in tune to how we feel. We have to be more in tune to how we feel and how it affects what comes out of our mouths and out of our hearts. The things that we see, the things that we hear, and the things that we say. We have to take better inventory of it. And I hope that if you get nothing else out of this presentation, you know that being a woman embodies so much, but our ShEmotions are very important. Our mood and the way we feel. Without that, we can't be the wonderful women, bearers, the holders, the helpers, the replenishers, and the wonderful women that we are to help everyone in this community. So I want everyone to repeat after every letter of every word, and I want to bring awareness to the word women. And after we say each letter, I'm going to read an adjective. If any of the adjectives speak to you in your life, I want you to lift your one finger up so that we can acknowledge and you can acknowledge the wonderful attributes of who you are. Are we ready? Okay, first, everybody just say women. Everyone say W. Worthiness. Wellness. Wisdom. Okay, mine is going to be worthiness. I'm working on worthiness every day. I am worthy to be here. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to be healthy. I'm worthy to survive. I'm worthy. Everyone say, oh. Outlook. This is an important word, outlook. What is your outlook on life? How does your outlook look to you? Because only you know how you feel, and only you have the lenses to the eyes of life that you have to your heart and to your soul. So what does your outlook look like, and how does your mental health affect your future? Ownership. Everyone say ownership. We have to take ownership of us, our emotions, our past, our future, what we want, what we need. We can't blame everything on others, those of us who do. We have to take personal inventory of our own mental health. I said ownership of your health, mental stability, and ownership of our time. Remember that time delegation. Everyone say M. Makeup. What makes you you? What makes you the beautiful person that you are? You are unique. We have to hold fast to that. We are unique. And we have good and bad attributes, but they make us who we are, and we should still celebrate that. E. Endurance. Essence. Endowment. I like the word endowment. It's different. I'm endowing myself with love, health, knowledge, good things, positivity, and I got to reach and grab for those things every day to make me a better person. N. Nurturing. Necessary. Needed. Women, we are the nurturers. We are the bearers. We are the ones that give life. We are the glue that holds things together. We are the women. We're the beings that hold things down. We are necessary. Society has shown us we are necessary. In today's world, we are very necessary. And we are needed. You are needed. We are needed. I am needed for myself. So I thank you for your time. And if you don't take anything else, we are women, we are strong, we are here, and our mental health matters.
Were there questions for Ms. Halton? So I think you would agree to all of our panelists. Outstanding. Can we just give them another round of applause? Just outstanding. And so as my part of this comes to a close, I want to again thank 100 Black Men, Riverside Health System, and Hampton Roads Community Action Program today for collaborating to bring this forum to life. And I do want to thank my dear friend and colleague, Mr. Delvin Peaks, for extending this invitation to have me facilitate this event. But most of all, right now, just give yourselves a hand and thank you for being a wonderful audience. Wonderful. And so now we'll ask Mr. Bell to come back to give Mr. Bell, who's the president of 100 Black Men, give his closing remarks.
Okay. Thank you, Angela. And I want to thank our panelists today. I want to thank in advance all the folks who will be in the room, the testing room, and we are asking all of you to take full advantage of that opportunity in the Marion Poe room next door. A lot of testing be going on, vaccines, et cetera. I know a lot of you are here for that. I believe our panelists will also be in that room, be they part of the testing or otherwise. So if you have some questions for them in that setting, please feel free to ask them. I'm sure they'll be happy to consult with you. But there's a lot of thanks this morning. Again, you mentioned Delvin Peaks with Riverside. Riverside is instrumental in partnering with us to put on these health forums. So I really want to thank Delvin again and give him applause. This is the first time that we're partnering with Hampton Roads Community Action Program, and Matthew Alexander and his team have done a wonderful job of working to make things happen. So thank you, Matthew. I want to thank my members of the 100 Black Men that spread out in the crowd, and especially folks like Thad Holloman and Everett Browning and Joe Fernandez and others who have worked directly on this particular event. But I want to give applause to my men in the 100, please. Okay. Now, after the health fair, out in the hallway, there are lunches for everybody, just light lunch, but please take advantage of all the testing. This room is going to be transferred into a kind of a display room. There's going to be a lot of tables set up with information on various things, 100 Black Men, HR CAP, and their associated programs. So please take advantage of that. There also, when you're done, we have some surveys out front, and we really want you to fill out a survey. Give us some feedback on this particular event and help us tell us how we did and help us plan future events as we go forward. Because, as we said, health and wellness is an important part of what we do, and we're going to continue in that initiative. Other than that, HR CAP had some giveaways, I believe, out in the hallway. Got Matthew, who's over there in the corner hiding, but he did a wonderful job there. He'll help orchestrate that. But there's some giveaways for folks, so please take advantage of that. And lastly, two other things. 100 Black Men, we're having our annual Black Tie Gala, our 29th annual Black Tie Gala on April 23rd, Saturday, April 23rd. And we're recognizing Dr. Bill Harvey, Sika Henry, who's the first Black professional female triathlete, and Riverside Health System. As honorees, we're recognizing our scholarship recipients. So there's some invitations on the table over there. If you're interested, feel free to take one. It's going to be at the Marriott. So that's a big event for us. The first time we're coming back together in person since COVID. And COVID is still upon us, so let's not forget that. Let's not think it's over. But that's over there. And lastly, I'd like to say happy birthday to my father, who's in the audience. He's 82 years old today. Alonzo Bell Sr. And I'm pleased that he and my mom are here today with me, and I love you. Other than that, folks, we're dismissed. Please take advantage of the testing, the meals out there, and also, and again, in this room, there'll be displays. I believe our brother Julius Green, who's one of our members, will be at our table also. Julius Green was the second African-American Army diver in the United States of America, and he's written a book. Maybe an opportunity to talk to Brother Green, who's right here, and he's a treasure. So enjoy, folks. Thank you very much.